It is Jacob Warren on the Vol Report. It's a Mother's Day edition, so we get to learn something about Mrs. Warren, and also an attribute that this Tennessee football team, or I should say last year's team, every team is different, but the last year's football team had that was such an incredible strength that nobody really talked about, but certainly you want to have it again this year. So let's get rolling there, Jacob Warren. And first of all, it is Mother's Day,
Yep.
and I'm just curious.
Okay.
What does your mom mean to you? You've obviously been a very successful young man,
Yeah.
so parents have to be a part of that. What's mom's like?
Man, we talk about it all day, but I think that I get a lot. If you're kind of just out and about, you see a lot of I see a lot of my dad in me, right? The way I interact with people and the way that I talk, and my dad could do something like this and be very good at it, and be very be able to talk about whatever for days, right? He's a salesman. He could sell you anything, right? He's really good at his job. So that's how my dad is, and then my mom is kind of the complete opposite, right? My mom is so um, just so meek, right, and just so humble and very very confident in who she is, and she loves her family, right, and she's very stand up for her family, but you know doesn't necessarily think any higher of herself than just anybody else, right? So I think just her humbleness and her meekness is kind of where I get a lot of my meekness and my down to earth qualities, I guess, for sure. But mom, man, she's so strong, and she just truly holds this big group of giant young men together, right? Me, my brothers, my dad's a freaking kid sometimes too. So just the way that she's able to handle it, and she enjoys it, and she wouldn't want it any other way. And she truly does a great job of being just a great mother to us, teaching us how to love each other, and teaching us kind of just what family means, right? And what it means to love your family and be able to do anything for them.
I take this time
Yeah.
because, and just like you're talking to her,
Hmm.
go ahead and give her that happy Mother's Day wish, and maybe I can save you some money on a card or
There
flowers
you
for
go.
that.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom. You know that I love you so much, and you mean the world to me and my two older brothers and my father and everyone else in our family. And you truly do a great job of just, like I said earlier, man, being that rock for us, and just being an example of just how to live our life as a nice, kind, humble human being. So for that, I thank you and I love you.
And I will follow. That was very nice. I will follow that up with kudos to Mrs. Warren because you've done a fantastic job. I've gotten to know your son, and you should be very, very proud. Um, that humbleness, that down to earth quality,
Yeah.
how important is that once you're uh, well known in the area, especially you in particular, because you
Mhm.
do a good amount of endorsements, including this show right here.
Yeah.
So I mean, you easily could have the big head, but you don't at all.
There's always man, always a bigger fish, right? There's always somebody that's whatever got more deals than me, or is more popular than me, or probably gets recognized in public more than me. And I think at the end of the day, man, I just, again, like we talked about earlier, just learning how to be confident in yourself, and understanding that, man, my value has nothing to do with my NIL value, or has nothing to do with how many people know who I am when I walk up and down the street. Like, yeah, sure, if I go to the mall with my friends, or even with my family, like, you know probably 7 times out of 10, right? You're probably going to see someone that says, "Hey, hey, Jacob," or "Hey, what's up, Jacob?" or "Are you Jacob Warren?" or whatever. Like, it happens pretty often, and it's great. And I think it's something that my friends kind of poke fun at me and stuff for. But at the end of the day, it's like, I love talking to fans. I love meeting people that know who I am. But at the same time, it's like, I'm no different than you are, right? I'm in the store right now shopping the same way you are. Like, I just need, you know, I need a new T-shirt or something, right? Like, I don't, which I probably don't because I shop too much. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a matter of understanding that I'm really no more important than anybody else, and just because of what I do doesn't necessarily make me more of a human being than anybody else. So
Yeah, and kind of along those lines, I'm happy for every. I've told you this before. I thought you
mhm.
guys deserved to get paid since I was your age.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm happy that that's happening. At this, by the same token,
Mhm.
if I had a bunch of money in my pocket at 18 years old, a significant amount of money,
Yeah,
it wouldn't have gone well for Dave Jacob.
for sure. Yeah.
So
Right. Another thing, man, that we learned young, right? I remember, dude, and I used to be so frustrated because I'm the same way now that I was when I was a kid, right? If I got money, like I want to spend it, right? And my parents could tell you the same thing. Like I was always the one that never had their allowance at the end of the month because the second I got it, it was gone. I was buying Legos, I was buying, more footballs or something, right? I was spending it. And it always used to make me so upset because my brothers, my two older brothers, who never really left the house much, didn't really go to the store with mom and dad, like just kind of stayed at home. They always had so much money saved up and it was so frustrating. But they definitely did. We had different bins, right? We would get our $10 or $20, whatever it was, and a portion of it went to church, a portion of it went to savings, a portion of it goes to spending money, and that's kind of just the principles that we kind of grew up on. And now I definitely feel like got a solid foundation of saving and understanding that financial freedom is not something that a lot of people have, and right now it's a very small scale thing just because I'm only 23 years old, and how much money am I really making, right? But at the end of the day, it's just kind of building habits that will kind of help me sustain this, I don't know, probably financially smart lifestyle for my whole life.
Yeah. One of the things that I did when I was 18, I didn't have a lot of money, but I remember filling out this parlay sheet,
Hmm.
and gambling is so accessible now,
Yeah,
and guys have money in their pockets, not just at Tennessee, but everywhere.
yeah.
Does is the university address with you guys the importance of staying the heck away from gambling?
Man, yeah, you look around the country right now, and yeah, obviously there's schools. I'm not going to talk about them, but there's schools that they're getting a lot of people, the coaches, players, I mean, different people around the program that, either are placing bets themselves or giving out information for bets or whatever, getting other people to put money down for bets, and like, yeah, it's illegal. The NCAA, you can't do it. It's not allowed. So at the same time, it's like I'm pretty sure we literally just had a meeting earlier this week about because all the stuff came out with those schools and just about protecting yourself and about being smart. And obviously, gambling is it's just that, right? It's a gamble, right? It's not smart to do with your money. So, end of the day, it's like I'm sure there's things you can gamble on other than sports, right? So if that's what you want to do, then sure, go ahead. But yeah, end of the day, it's just trying to protect us and keep yourself away from you know the big bad NCAA, right? So
Well, I mean that, and I think too, it is one of those situations that can take away from the integrity of the sport,
yeah,
and and that's the scary part, I think, for this whole gambling being legal thing for anybody, but in particular young men, because that can derail an entire career. I mean, if you get labeled as that, you might not be bouncing back reputation wise. That's scary.
yeah. Nobody wants someone that's going to be giving out secrets or tips or advantages to people to help them make money, and whether they make a little money off it or not, whatever. But yeah, same time, it's something you don't necessarily want in your program, and so definitely trying to keep that you know out or to a minimum and trying to restrict it as much as possible is for sure the smart thing to do.
Perhaps an overlooked aspect of last year's team that I know you want to carry over. Let's
Yeah,
jump into that. Hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed already, do that. But the like button helps us bring more people in. Bassy Lawn and Garden brings you the Vol Report with Jacob Warren. Man alive, it's worth the drive. With their buying power, they can save you money. So it's worth the drive from Nashville, Knoxville, or Chattanooga. They're in Cleveland, Tennessee. Go to Bassy.com to learn more. So I was talking to Cooper, and he talked about the snap and clear mentality
yeah,
that you guys had last year.
mhm,
That's absolutely vital, isn't it?
yeah. Next play, man. Keep going. It says on my shirt.
Oh, does
It
it really? Let me see that again.
has nothing to do with football, but it's
Okay.
just a shirt that I wear. But yeah, man, just next play mentality. I think that um, great in life as well, but especially on the football field. Man, there's emotions are so high, and it's so easy to get wrapped up in, okay, I dropped a ball or I missed the block and my guy made the tackle, right? And it's the matter of the fact is that every single play there's going to be 11 guys on the field, and if all 11 can do their job every single time, then you would win the game by hundreds of points, right? You'd win every single game you play. But the reality of it is, like, there's going to be someone here or there that doesn't necessarily man doesn't do a terrible job, but just doesn't complete their job to the fullest, right? And so there's going to be mistakes and there's going to be times where you really want to get upset with yourself, but In the tight room, we're trying to learn kind of our whistle to whistle process, right? And not talking, once the whistle blows till the end of the play, talking once that whistle is over, the play is over, how do I, get myself prepared for the next snap, whistle to snap, I guess is what I should call it. But and it's just, man, you take 1 second, 2 seconds, and you digest exactly what happened. I caught a ball, first down, like I get excited, whatever, I get pumped up, but then I got 2 seconds to react to that, and now I've got to be able to focus on the next play because, if I score, obviously that's different, right? Because the drive is over. But just throughout a drive, like it's just a matter of, okay, that was a bad block. I got put on my back or whatever. I tripped, I fell, I didn't, have my head on the right side. 2 seconds, dang, like whatever, maybe a hand clap is the thing that they hate that the most, right? The coaches hate seeing a player turn around and like clap their hands, like, oh man, I messed up. But give yourself a little hand clap, whatever, and get mad, and then, all right, now what do I have to do? Eyes of the signal. Let me find the next play. Let me go on to the next one, so that I don't essentially repeat the mistake. Right? That's the worst thing that you can do is make one mistake, and then the very next play make another mistake, and then the very next play make that same mistake again. That's when you start to have really detrimental, 3 and outs, and you have, interceptions or fumbles or critical errors and different things like that. So just being able to not let one affect the next and just stack plays on top of each other is how we were number one offense in the nation.
Why do the coaches hate the hand clap? You said something that intrigued
Just
me.
because everybody knows you messed up and you messed up, like there's no need to turn around and clap your hands. There's no need to, punch the ground. There's no need to do all that, right? Everybody, like,
Oh, okay.
you know what I'm saying? Like it's not that they hate it. It's just something like, dude, don't clap your hands. Like it's okay. Like just freaking turn and look at the signal and get the next play. But it's just something that we all do, just out of habit. Like crap, you know what I mean? Just one of those. So
Okay. Is it more difficult to get refocused? And we're taking touchdowns
mhm,
off the board
mhm,
because obviously you run to the sideline,
yeah,
but or I guess a turnover where you would go
bad
to the
or
side.
good plays. Are you gonna ask?
Yeah.
Mhm.
What's more difficult to get refocused?
Man, I think for me, good plays like really, I focus like way more after a good play. Like if you, I don't know if you ever noticed, I don't really celebrate if I get a first down or something. I'm not gonna like turn and point towards the end zone. I'm not gonna do all that because I catch the ball and then I don't know what it is, but like I just get into this like laser focus mode where I catch the ball and I don't even really remember getting tackled. I just get up and I, give the ball to the ref and then I'm like locked in. So I definitely think that after a bad play, probably for me, much harder to have that snap and clear mentality just because you have a bad play and now naturally, whether you want it or not, that's going to bring a lot of, anxiety and stress over messing up another play. So it's just a matter of, okay, what was my, like your last performance was bad. Like, how do I go out and make the next one good? And so, I don't know. Does that make sense?
No, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes perfect sense. And I guess there have been times where you probably made a bad play because and you and Princeton last year would rotate. There's probably
Mhm.
been times where you made a bad play and you had to go to the sideline. Would you think about it a little bit longer then, or is it still got to get out of your mind?
Yeah, that's not really something that um, you don't really want that, right? I think at least for me, right? Like it's if I have a bad play, like the last thing I want is to be taken out of the game because then, like I just said, I'm going to
Mm.
experience this frustration, this you know, I guess frustration is the right word, but I'm going to be mad about that play until the next time I get a chance to go and make it right and essentially correct my mistake. So, yeah, that's the worst thing ever for me is having a bad play, and regardless of whether I get taken out because I had a bad play or I'm just getting taken out, just get taken out that is frustrating for me because then you just kind of have to sit there and deal with it for longer and it's just it kind of boils over. But yeah, I mean if you truly have that next play mentality, then that thought should be gone in the next just couple of seconds. But it's very hard to do.
So the way that your offense runs, for those that don't know, of course the quarterback doesn't get subbed. We know that. The offensive linemen don't get subbed, but you and Princeton would rotate.
Yeah, we can sometimes.
Right. And I would you guys alternated series, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. So there's not subs for during the obviously during the drives, but when you're fresh, and the reason I ask you this was because I think you're going to have at least three tailbacks that are going to be good this year.
For sure.
So coming in there fresh with a defense that's been hit on a
Yeah.
little bit, I
Yeah.
mean, how big of a luxury is that? That's pretty cool. It's just you and the running backs. It's nobody else.
Right. No, it is. It really is amazing because even if I'm tired, right, and I look across the way, and you got a D lineman that just looks like he just wants to be done with the whole game. He wants the game to be over, right? He doesn't want to be here. He's not enjoying it. He's tired, can't breathe. like that's the best feeling ever because I know that that's now going to affect the way that he plays, which in turn affects the way the linebackers play, which is usually who I'm blocking, right? Um, but no, the best feeling ever is running into the game and feeling amazing, and essentially everyone else on the field, and like our guys are tired too sometimes, but everyone else on the field just being just dog tired, and you, I don't know, you just feel like you're flying around but moving fast and being able to, get the upper hand on guys, take advantage of people. Like it's nice because you just have that extra edge. But yeah, it's great to have that feeling of I'm in pass pro or something, just looking to help out, and there's just zero rush from the defensive line because they all can't even get out of their stance because they're so tired. So definitely an advantage for us.
I would think definitely advantage for the running backs too. Back in the day, you used to hand it to one guy 25 to 30 times, but the carries get more spread out nowadays in football, not just your team,
Yeah.
but all across the board. That's got to be tiring for a defense as well.
Yeah, just having a guy that, man, he's fresh, and you got a running back in there that might you think you're beating down on him, and he's getting tired. He's had the ball 3 or 4 times this drive, and you start to expect, okay, maybe they're not going to keep giving it to him. Like the guy's got to have rest, and then you're able to roll another one in there, and then all right, right back at it, right back to it, and for all those guys to be interchangeable like that, and the depth that we have in that room has been, super critical to our success, and will continue to be for sure this next year.
You have Jalen Wright, Jabari Small, Dylan Sampson. Um, I think you probably have an idea who will be in the game in clutch time when you really need it. I'm not really thinking about who starts, and you don't have to tell me who it might be, but um, how does that pecking order kind of work itself out throughout the summer and throughout preseason camp at running back?
I mean, I think that truly, like I don't know, right? I don't make those decisions, obviously, and that's kind of the the player in me to say that, right? Because I really don't.
Right.
But I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's just who's going to prove to be most reliable, all 3 downs, and that's any of them, right? The fact that any of them can do it, I think is awesome, and I don't know who earns it, based on just does someone earn it, once every week? Like that's how me and Princeton were. Is they couldn't decide who to start, so they just said, "All right, this week you're going to start. This week you're going to start. Hey, play rock paper scissors. You can start. Whoever wins gets to start." Like that's kind of how it went for us. So, I don't know if that's something that's going to go on for them, but man, end of the day, the same mentality that I had or when I wasn't starting was okay. Like it doesn't matter because I will literally be in 10 minutes whenever we go out on our second drive, or if the one running back gets tired, then I will be in by the end of the drive. Like it really doesn't matter, man. At the end of the day, and I think that that's one great thing about our team is that I'm pretty sure at any position group you could say that, right? It doesn't matter if I'm starting the game as long as I'm going to get my opportunity and I'm able to make the best of it. I think that's what really is important.
The Vol Report with Jacob Warren, brought to you by Bassey Lawn and Garden. Man alive, it's worth the drive. Happy Mother's Day, Mrs. Warren, and maybe we'll get you on some other time after your son wins the Super Bowl and he's like,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, we'll do all that stuff.
yeah,
So happy Mother's Day, Mrs. Warren. You done good, as they say around East Tennessee.
that's right.
The Vol Report brought to you by Bassey Lawn and Garden. Man alive, it's worth the drive. This has been a presentation of Off the Hook Sports. More coming. Hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Thanks for watching.